Okay, Trevor Story and the Red Sox have agreed to a 6-year, $140 million contract. The deal includes an opt-out after the 4th season. The 29-year-old shortstop, not for long, will be moved to second base right alongside Xander Bogaerts, who has been Boston's primary shortstop the last 7 seasons. At the major league level, Story has never played a position other than shortstop, where he ranked among the major's best in 2019 with a plus 18 outs above average and was a National League Gold Glove finalist. Story is a career .272 hitter who has averaged 34 homers and 22 steals per 162 games, but we know half of those came at Coors Field. We'll get into some home road splits with our Red Sox insider John Tomase as well as Chris Gasper, Boston Globe. But Tomase, first I ask you, what is your reaction to this move and the size of this move and the money spent by the Red Sox here?
So my first reaction was great signing. My second reaction was finally. Thank God. I've come on these shows many, many times, and I have explained they will spend. The Red Sox will spend again. I firmly believe that, but I needed to see it, and I was getting worried that this wasn't going to be the year, that it was going to be next year because Eovaldi comes off the books and Bogaerts presumably comes off the books, and J.D. Martinez and Christian Vasquez. You go down the list, they're going to have money to spend. But it's like, are you going to leave all of that for next offseason? That's crazy. You were talking about the Patriots earlier, how many holes they have to fill. Well, the Red Sox are setting themselves up for a lot of holes. Well, guess what? They just filled one of them today. Trevor Story steps right in for Xander Bogaerts. If he leaves, his contract is reasonable enough that if they want to keep Bogaerts, there's a way to make that happen for both of them. I love this signing, and I love what it says about the Red Sox being back in business. Doesn't mean you have to go crazy and throw money at every free agent, but when there's one who fits, don't let him go by because it doesn't fit your idea of value.
Are you as optimistic about this move and what it might mean for the Red Sox front office moving forward?
Yeah, I agree with everything that John just said. I love the move for the Red Sox, and I love the fact that it just basically says, okay, Chaim Bloom's not going to be the strict ideologue that I thought he was behaving as, which is, look, this is what I believe in terms of building a team, building through the farm system. But when you're the general manager or chief baseball officer of the Boston Red Sox, you have resources, you have the ability to do things that other teams don't. And I've wanted him to act more like his mentor in Andrew Friedman and spend that money. And ideally, the model, guys, for the Red Sox is the Dodgers. You look at the Dodgers go out and they signed Freddie Freeman, but they still have one of the best farm systems in the game. I think you can do both things. And what I've wanted to see out of Bloom is for him to track more to Andrew Friedman and Theo Epstein and not so much Ben Cherington. And I felt before this it was a little more Ben Cherington. So I really like this move for them, and I think it sets them up well next year when I feel like Xander Bogaerts isn't on the team. And the next question that I think, this is down the road is, it's great you're giving out this money, but if you're not giving money to your guys and your whole plan is we're going to have all these homegrown guys, what kind of message does that send to your clubhouse? But that's a down-the-road problem. For right now, Trevor Story's a big win for the Red Sox.
You should still be able to do both, right? You should be able to pay your own guys,
but
bring in new talent. Will they, won't they? To me, the reason Chaim Bloom is here is to marry those two approaches here in Boston. Spend the money, but also develop good young talent and have cheap talent on your roster as well. So now the question is, John, did they spend their money in the right place? Is this the right guy for them? We know what the numbers are. I am a little bit concerned about the home run splits. I'm concerned about these Colorado guys that put up big numbers at home and don't necessarily on the road all the time. So what do you think of the player?
Love the player. I love the player and I love the fit. And you know what? I understand the Colorado thing. It's very easy to do. It's the first thing you look at when a Rockies player moves. But whether it's Matt Holliday or DJ LeMahieu or even Larry Walker putting up great numbers in Montreal before going to Colorado, you can go down the list of guys. Nolan Arenado's another one just now with the Cardinals. These guys, every single player puts up better numbers at Coors and worse numbers on the road. And when they leave, the great ones, and I think Story qualifies as a great player, 2-time All-Star, it all normalizes. Because what people don't recognize, The Athletic wrote a very good story about this today, I want to say, when you leave Coors, there is an effect. There is an impact on you when you go on the road. The stats bear it out. The first series outside of Coors, players don't hit well. There's an adjustment period. Breaking balls don't break in the thin air. They get more fastballs in Coors. All these things. This is a long-winded way of saying, don't worry about that, Phil. I'm getting a little lost in the weeds here.
Even Arenado, who's a great player and was a great player last year, his OPS is about 800 last year. When he was really going in Colorado, it was like 950. So there's a significant difference.
I believe he'll be better.
But, Story's a player. It's not all about the bat, right, Phil? And I think that's what I like about the player is that he gives them some things they need. He's a very good defensive infielder. Now, I know he won't be playing shortstop, but you read the numbers about how good he is defensively at shortstop. I know that's important to the Red Sox long term, John. They want a little better defense in the infield. He also has some speed. So he has some elements, Phil, I think, that play anywhere, right? It's not just about the bat and it's not just about extra base hits and OPS. He has some other elements that have nothing to do with altitude or Coors to his game.
Does this mean Xander Bogaerts is gone?
Not necessarily, but certainly trending that way. It's hard for me to envision Chaim Bloom and the Red Sox committing a similar contract to Bogaerts, or a bigger contract, because Bogaerts is going to want more. And frankly, he probably deserves more because he's a better offensive player, certainly, and he should mean something to you. But two guys who are the exact same age, they were born a month apart, so they're both turning 30 this offseason. Are you committing 6+ years to two guys in the middle of your infield? I don't know. And you'd still have to ask one of them to move. I think a lot of people say, well, next year Story becomes a shortstop and Bogaerts moves to second. I talked to Xander Bogaerts. I asked him at spring training last week, how do you feel about moving to second? Bro, I'm a shortstop. He doesn't want to move now. He's not going to want to move next year either. And there are going to be teams that will view him as a shortstop.
If he threw the bro in, he was serious.
No, he was serious. He's a nice guy. He only breaks out the bro when he means.
Guys, don't go